My name's RG, and today I'm back with another Fortnite video. Having played Fortnite since the first ever season, I've seen the game develop an incredible amount, with numerous new weapons and items added, as well as a brand new map. However, the biggest change I've seen is how people play the game, with the meta changing a considerable amount since the early seasons. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a Season 1 challenge, which means only using weapons and items from the first season of Fortnite, as well as using all of the best strats from Season 1. The ones that we all used, such as sky bases, bush camping, and building massive bases. This way, I'll be able to see if they're just as effective as they were in the early days of Fortnite. So, let's jump straight into the gameplay. So with me doing the Season 1 challenge, it means that I can only land at POIs from the first season of Fortnite. This gives me just two places to land at, one being resale and the other being salty. I've never been a big fan of salty, as it's such a hectic drop, and there really isn't that much loot. And with Epic removing 100% chest spawns, I'm quickly reminded why I never drop there. In Game 2, I decided to land at retail. It's nowhere near as busy as salty, but it's a great POI with plenty of loot, so I feel way more comfortable landing there. With buggy bombs being introduced during the first season of Fortnite, I'm allowed to use them in this challenge. When they were first added to the game, they were incredibly overpowered. They lasted way longer, and players would continue to dance even after taking damage. So if you got hit with a buggy bomb, then you were almost certainly gonna die. Although for some reason, in Game 2, my buggy bomb doesn't even affect my opponent.
What?
In the next game, I'm determined to get a kill with a buggy bomb. However, I run out of materials and start getting shot at. And, yeah.
Oh my god.
Like many others, that first season of Fortnite was the first time I'd ever played a Battle Royale. Before then, I'd only played shooters like COD, where you could respawn whenever you died. So this was a big change for me, and it felt simply incredible if you got a win. The game felt really intense. Honestly, my heart has never raced more than during the first seasons of Fortnite. And with building being really hard back then, as turbo building hadn't been introduced yet, it meant that in Season 1, bush camping was the meta. And with me doing the Season 1 challenge, I had to bring it back. I'm not able to surprise attack anyone whilst I'm in the bush, but I am able to last quite a while unchallenged. However, once a storm begins to move in, I'm forced to move. Like I would do in Season 1, I head to one of the highest points in the circle and build a 1x1. Back then, this would have taken me ages to build, but nowadays, it can be done within a matter of seconds. If this was still Season 1, the rest of the lobby would have been intimidated by my massive base. But with it now being Season 4 of Chapter 2, I'm not surprised to see that I get pushed fairly quickly, forcing me into a build fight, which is something that you can't really be doing this season.
Oh, come on.
During the early days of Fortnite, it really mattered if you won. If you won with 0 kills, then that was still worthy of telling all your friends. That's why people would hide in bushes, camp in buildings, or build massive bases. But now that everyone's got so many wins, people don't seem to care as much. So instead of hiding all game and trying to avoid people, it's common for people to just go for kills and charge at anyone they see. Although it's not like camping in a base isn't effective anymore. Camping in general will always be the meta in a Battle Royale, but nowadays, people don't really care enough to camp. In Game 5, having sat in my base for most of the match, I found myself 1v1 against the final player. And judging by the builds of this player, I can tell that he is definitely not doing a Season 1 challenge. Although based on how my opponent played, it wouldn't have surprised me if he'd been sweating the game since even before Season 1, as they get completely destroyed.
No, he's too good.
Although building bases had helped me get to the final 1v1 in the last couple games, I decided against it in game 6. Instead, I go back to bush camping. These massive new bushes that Epic added in Chapter 2 are ideal for bush camping, as it's impossible to tell if someone is in one, and you can still kind of see out of them. I get quite a lot of luck from the circle, which allows me to make it to the final 3 players. I'm really tempted to get involved right now, but I'd rather wait until I've used up more of their materials and they're weakened. However, eventually the circle puts me in a position where I'll have to move soon. And with one of the final players leaving himself open from behind, I see this as a good chance to finally get involved in the action. One of the final players goes down, leaving me 1v1 yet again. I can tell that my opponent is desperate to heal up, but I continue to apply the pressure. However, before I know it, my opponent has gone for high ground, which leads to some really intense final moments of the match. Let's go. I had to go for the default dance. So with me having camped in a bush for the majority of that last match, I can definitely say that bush camping remains an effective strategy in 2020. It's a great way of avoiding fights. And honestly, people don't care enough about winning to bush camp nowadays, so it can really take players by surprise. In game 7, I decided to try a different season 1 strat and build a sky base, but this time I'm going to need some help.
Big fight in front of us.
Now, to be completely honest, I don't have a lot of experience building sky bases, as I was always too scared that I'd get shot down, so this was actually all new to me. However, unfortunately for us, with the final circle being on a mountain, it meant that people barely needed to look up to spot us.
No.
No.
It's okay.
It wasn't okay.
Are we at max? Fight?
No! Fucking hell! Oh my god. Why did
We
you go as well?
were! It got shot down.
Oh, it did. Oh.
That's why we couldn't build, 'cause we got shot down.
Oh, is it? Right.
Yeah, good try.
Despite the previous match's failure, I decided to go for a sky base again in game 8, except this time I'm doing it in squads. What this means is that we'll have a lot more materials to use.
Right, get your materials, Connor. I want to see you coming out of here with 2,000 materials.
Timing is so important when it comes to sky bases, but unfortunately, despite us having so many materials, we start building our sky base way too late, meaning it was inevitable that we'd get spotted.
Oh!
I see you.
What? I used the fucking bouncer. Are you kidding me? Did you see that?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh.
In game 9, we make sure we time our sky base a lot better and get high up into the sky much earlier. We try to time it so that we only build up higher as the storm is moving in. This way, the storm should cover our builds and hopefully stop our opponents from seeing us. At this point, it seems to be going pretty well. We might actually have a chance of winning this, but my moment of optimism didn't last too long.
Two. When
Oh,
there's
I
two.
can't build that. Oh no! Oh no!
Good
That
try,
one
you
me.
guys.
As I'm sure you're all aware by now, Epic recently released all of the Chapter 1 default skins to the item shop, which was perfect timing with recording this video. So heading into my final game, I'm able to use the original Jonesy skin that we all use so often during the early seasons of Fortnite. and it really does help to bring back those OG vibes. And luckily enough for me, it seems like Epic decided to put a real Season 1 player into my lobby. Earlier on, I had some disastrous times with the buggy bombs, with them getting me killed every time I used them. But this time, I finally used them effectively. I actually had quite a lot of fun using these Season 1 strats. It made me feel really nostalgic, hardening bushes, building big bases, and using the original Jonesy skin again. However, the game will never truly feel the same as it did back in the day, as the game has developed such a considerable amount. And by now, we've all won hundreds of games, so the excitement and nervous energy isn't quite there anymore. Games have to develop, otherwise they become stale. So I'm not going to blame Epic for that. But it does feel bittersweet knowing how much the game has changed since Season 1. For me, the game will never be as fun as it was during those first couple seasons of Fortnite. But realistically, what games do compare to early Fortnite? I'm struggling to think of any. All we can do is continue to embrace where Epic takes the game. And hopefully, Fortnite will continue to develop in a way that is fun for everyone, regardless of whether you've just started playing or you started in Season 1.
No!
So, what Season 1 strats did you used to use? And have you ever won a match using a sky base? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you want to support me as a content creator, then feel free to use my creator code, which is on the screen now. So anytime you buy something in the item shop and use my code, it will go directly towards supporting the channel, which would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe for more. And I'll see you next time for another video. Goodbye.